Hey everyone, welcome to Doing the Dang Thing podcast. I am your host, Jill Schmeeding, and this podcast is all about helping everyday women play big and aspire for more. Welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Doing the Dang Thing podcast. I am your host, Jill Schmeeding, and on today's episode, I am going to be talking to you off the cuff, and this could turn out really good. It could turn out really, really bad. I have no idea. I'm playing big. I'm aspiring for more. You know, doing a podcast is hard work. And the professional podcasters out there make it look so easy, but it's really not. And I'm just going to be open and honest about that with you, my listeners. I want to thank you for the support every single week, you guys tuning in and just hearing what I have to say. One thing that really makes me play big, right? One thing in which I feel like I'm really playing big is I don't have all the answers. I don't have any answers, to be honest with you. All I have is the information that is told to me through all my research or my personal journeys that I'm going through. And I think the reason why you tune into this podcast is to learn and hear the stories, right? To learn the lessons that I'm learning through my own life experience and how can it be applied to yours. And I have my best friend Piper. She has been my best friend since we were 7 years old and we are in our 40s. Boy, it is like a beautiful, beautiful friendship. And she was listening to my podcast last week, the solo trip, the lessons that I learned on my solo trip. And she wasn't on a solo trip, but she did have to take some high school, or not had to, she, I think, chose to take some high school girls on a trip. And she listened to my episode and then walked away with one of the lessons that I talked to you about last week, which was, how do you find joy by yourself, right? Finding moments of pure joy. Sorry, let me say that. Finding moments of pure joy by yourself. And I know she did that on that trip when she was with those teenagers. She's stepped away and found some moments of pure joy all by herself. She didn't need anyone to contribute to those moments of pure joy. I thought it was really cool. And that right there just shows me that less is more. Less is more with these podcasts. And every week I really work hard to try to put out good content. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good in my personal opinion, but I'm out here trying. And this week is no different. And I'm trying to be just real, vulnerable, and honest with you guys because, you know, I had two girlfriends. I just want to tell this story. I had two girlfriends this last week who found themselves talking to me and then crying and then apologizing for crying. And I feel like I'm a pretty safe friend. And so when they apologized for crying, I was just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, don't apologize for crying. Like, you know, just feel your feelings, right? And it was someone that actually introduced me to this poem. It's a poem by Rumi. It's called The Guest House. And I'm going to read it to you here in a minute. But it was this poem that just helped me look at my feelings and my emotions a little differently. And so this episode is all about that. It is about the poem and how it's helped me welcome in my emotions, my feelings that I have when I play big in my life and when I aspire for more, which can be very scary. I think we all know that. Getting outside of our comfort zone is never easy, but it is a must. And so I had a moment. Okay, so those two girls found themselves crying. They're both playing big in their lives, right? They're both playing big in different ways. And they found themselves crying and apologizing for it. And I just created a space. I felt like I wanted to create a safe space for them to feel their feelings as they do for me when I'm feeling overwhelmed and I find myself crying. But I just want to encourage you out there, if you find yourself crying, if you find yourself having emotions, don't apologize. Just feel the feelings. Just feel the feelings, welcome them in. And this poem that I'm about to read to you guys right now on this episode, I think is just a good reminder that we all have feelings that come up for a reason, and it's there to teach us a lesson. The emotions that we have come up in our lives are there to teach us a lesson. And so let's welcome them in. Yeah, that's what I want to say about that. And before I read the poem, you know what? Nah, I'm going to read the poem. I'm just going to read the poem. This week, it's about the poem. And then I'll try to dive in just a little bit more about my personal story as well, of something that I had happen to me. And then my friend encouraged me with this poem again. So without further ado, here is the poem, The Guest House by Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some monetary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. I do love that poem. I love that poem because it specifically talks about welcoming and entertaining all the feelings and all the emotions, right? Even the good, the bad, the ones that violently sweep your house and emptying it of all its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably because it's clearing you out for some new delight. Whew. And I just want to sit with that for a second. Because sometimes I feel like when we get emotional and when we do cry and we do want to apologize for having those feelings, which we should never do, by the way, it's coming up for a reason. It's coming up for a reason. And so just last week, as I mentioned before, 2 girlfriends cried to me, and I went to a girlfriend when I was struggling with something. I was sitting at my kitchen table. I was working on something. I don't even know what it was. And all of a sudden I had this feeling where I missed one of my old boyfriends, right? We all, dang those old boyfriends. I tell you what, they creep back into your life when you least expect it. And this particular ex-boyfriend, he had some good qualities. He had some great qualities, actually. And one of them was that he genuinely liked talking to me. He genuinely liked hearing from me and hearing about my day. And he would text me and good morning and that sort of thing. And it's just nice to know that you're on someone's mind, right? That someone's thinking of you, and also that someone wants to hear from you. And that was one thing that he had going for him quite well with our relationship. And so I was sitting at my kitchen table and he just came up in my mind and I started to miss him. And so I reached out to my girlfriend, of course, because that's what we do. We don't reach out to the ex-boyfriends. We reach out to the girlfriends for support. And I told my girlfriend, hey man, I miss this person. And she was just like, well, she goes, I'm really proud of you for feeling the feelings. And she goes, remember, the guest house, it's a visitor. Welcome it in and feel like don't resist the feeling. Whoa, like powerful, right? Just powerful. It's okay to miss ex-boyfriends, right? It's okay to miss ex-partners. It's okay to miss people that aren't in our lives anymore, old friends that may not be in your life anymore. It's okay to miss them. It doesn't mean you need to go back to them. And we hear that on Instagram, on all of these. I follow so many therapists on Instagram and they all say that. And I'm just like, yeah. Okay, whatever. I've heard it. I got you. So I'm going to go call a girlfriend. But Anyways, this poem is just a good reminder that we should not resist our feelings. If we resist our feelings, it makes them stronger, right? If we resist our feelings, it will only make them stronger. You have to just welcome them in. Feelings and emotions are simply an energy in motion. So just let them pass, and they will dissolve. And remember, it's trying to teach us something. So my question to you, and something I want to leave you with this week, is a couple things actually. When was the last time you found yourself crying and apologizing? And why did you feel like you had to apologize? Maybe just process that. Number 2, when was the last time you had some feelings and emotions come up and you resisted them, and what happened in that moment? And number 3, the next time you have feelings, which by the way could be right now, you could be having some emotions and feelings coming up as I'm talking about different things that are going on in my life and my friends' life. You could be having some emotions and feelings come up right now. Welcome them, just like Rumi talks about in his Guest House poem. Welcome them. And with laughter, right? Welcome them with laughter and see what they're trying to teach you, because they might just be clearing you out for some new delight. Oh, who doesn't love some new delight? I know I do. So that's what I have for you today. This week, exactly. This is what I have for you this week. And I really appreciate you tuning in. And like I said, I'm not here to give you all the answers. There are millions of people out there that we all follow on social medias giving you all the answers. I'm here to tell you, you are not alone in this journey. You are not alone when you're playing big and you're aspiring for more, because I'm right there with you every week doing the dang thing. We are all playing big, doing the dang thing. And I just love hearing from you. You can follow me on Instagram. That's where I am. It's The Accountabilitist. I'll put it in the show notes if you want to follow me there. I love hearing from you. So when I post, which by the way, this is just a hustle. This is a passion project for me, a little side hustle that I love doing. And so I don't post that often. I'm trying to get better, but I love hearing from you. So subscribe, follow for more, everything you hear on every other social media platform. But I do encourage you to continue listening to these podcasts, because we're all in this together. We're all out here bravely moving towards becoming our most authentic self, because that's what life is all about, I think, right? So get out there, play big, and aspire for more. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Remember, don't resist. Welcome each emotion, each feeling, like a guest knocking at your door. Welcome them in with laughter and see what new delight comes your way. Take care, everyone.